Chloe Bourgeois is a character that I find myself rather middling on. Scratch that, I really don't like her. But I also don't like that I don't like her. When she was first introduced in the series, she was a stereotypical one-dimensional rich girl bully for Marinette, our main character, to overcome. But then season 2 seemed to be doing something interesting in that it was making an effort to try and redeem her. It wasn't perfect, but it seemed to be laying the groundwork for something interesting regarding her upbringing and own nature. It even flowed into season 3 where she was shown to be able to resist Hawkmoth's attempt to akumatize her, making her the first person to do so. That quickly went out the window in the finale as Chloe seemed to have completely ignored the chance for redemption as she continued to be a bad person, culminating in her teaming up with Hawkmoth to try and defeat Ladybug and Chat Noir. Now, a lot of people didn't like this aspect of her character arc, or rather her arc freezing in place and reversing back to its starting point, because they felt it was throwing away her chance at redemption. However, I don't mind the idea of Chloe failing to be redeemed. A story isn't necessarily bad because it doesn't want to do what I want. My problem is twofold. 1. The series seems to have chosen the least interesting route to take Chloe's character. And 2. As a result, it made previous episodes and events in the series seem pointless. Let me elaborate. With her appearance in season 4, she doesn't seem to be suffering any real consequences to her actions and has basically just become a worse version of her season 1 self. And short of rehashing what's already been done with a character arc that they've basically said won't work, it seems permanent. It doesn't seem like they have anything planned, especially now that she has the anti-Hawkmoth charm. That's what I mean by it's the less interesting route for her to take. She doesn't get to be redeemed, but the only consequence of her actions is that she's a worse person, and we can't even see that in conjunction with Hawkmoth akumatizing her. Guess she's back to being a bully that makes people feel so bad they get akumatized. In fact, I might make a video on Chloe about that very topic. I could even bring up the fact that the writers chose to have her reason for not being a hero is because her identity was revealed and so she couldn't be allowed to be a hero, and then wrote Optigami as if they thought we wouldn't notice. And as I wondered what they could possibly be planning for Chloe's character, we got the double whammy of Soul Crusher and Queen Banana, and the introduction of a new character that made me conflicted, Zoe. Now, Zoe somehow managed to be everything I didn't want in Chloe's sister and everything I could have possibly hoped for in a new character. For one thing, she's very transparently Chloe's replacement, and almost everything about her introductory episode exists to make us go, ugh, Chloe's the worst. She makes Sabrina do her homework inside her closet and run outside the car to school. She throws everyone under the bus to avoid being captured by an akuma she created. I guess Zombizo didn't matter then. Somehow she's bullying the man who is basically single-handedly responsible for her being the spoiled brat we know and hate. Her character is not coming back from this. And then we go to Queen Banana, drawing more parallels on why Chloe is not as good as Zoe, including Chloe taking over a movie production her sister is starring in out of jealousy and completely ruining everything while also demanding Zoe doesn't even appear on screen.
As long as she's not on screen, it's fine with me.
When an Akuma is after Chloe, she runs, but when one is after Zoe, she sacrifices herself. And here's the thing, it's not technically bad. Proving that Chloe is ultimately unsuited for the role of a hero and presenting us with someone who isn't a bad thing. But it feels a lot less impressive to just introduce a character who can be the perfect replacement to Chloe after flushing 1.5 seasons of Chloe's development down the drain. And unless something interesting is going to happen with Chloe later this season, it all feels wasted. Episodes like Zombizo and Miraculous now feel like a build-up to just saying that Chloe will never change despite everything. So introducing a whole new character to take her place feels dissatisfying. I think it's best summed up by an interaction I had where someone asked why people dislike Zoe when she's a better version of Chloe. To which my answer was they were hoping that Chloe would become a better version of Chloe. And that would be all I have to say on the matter. If Zoe wasn't an interesting character in her own right. Because stripping away everything regarding Chloe's arc, Zoe is actually a really interesting character concept. And not because she's a good version of Chloe, she's really not. But because she's a good version of Lila. A character who feels the need to lie about everything in order to fit in with people, particularly her overbearing family. It was really interesting to see her adopt the mannerisms of those she was trying to deceive in an attempt to get them to like her. That alone was enough to get me to like her on the same level as several of the characters who've had whole seasons to develop. In fact, my only criticism is that I think her character arc was resolved too quickly. It would have been interesting to see her apply the same mirror method to other characters and even the protagonists in an attempt to get them to like her. It doesn't necessarily have to be more than one episode, but if they say cut some of the Chloe is the absolute worst to a comical degree scenes out, there'd be few more minutes that they could dedicate to that. Focus the episode more on Zoe, not Chloe. But now that that's all been resolved, I really hope there are still more interesting things to do with Zoe's character. And that brings me to my final conclusion. While I don't like what Zoe's introduction means for Chloe's arc, as it feels like it's locking all the doors that were slammed shut in season 3's finale, and closing all the others, she herself is not a bad character. She feels like she was created to be the one who deserves the miraculous more than Chloe, but there's more to her than that. She's a genuinely interesting character. So don't hate on her just because you feel Chloe was shafted, because there's a lot to her that could grow to be even more interesting than Chloe. We'll see. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment your thoughts and subscribe for more content. Thank you and good day.